Okay, so we're now ready to start part 5 of Letitia's garden, and so we're now going back to overlay mosaic again, which means the larger hook. So for me that's my 4mm hook, and just like we did really when we started part 3, although overlay mosaic usually works in you usually work your double crochets into the back loops, just for this very first row we're actually going to do that into both loops. I'm going to do our double crochets into both loops just because we did the last row of part 4 on the wrong side, so our loops, see, they're not actually sort of visible there, they're more slanted, more for the back, so it'll look a little bit strange if we now try to work into that back loop. So we're just going to start with a nice simple row of standard double crochet. So I've now just put a slip knot on my hook, so we're just going to join there with a standard double crochet as usual, and then nice and easy just work a row of totally ordinary double crochets, oops, through both loops all the way along. Another lovely easy row. We just start as always with our standing double crochet in that first stitch, and then another ordinary double crochet next door, so both of those through both loops. And now what we're going to do, really nice and easy, all the way along, just do our double crochets into that back loop only, which is what we generally do for overlay mosaic. So just go along like that, working your double crochet just into that back loop. Okay, so I've now done row 2, fastened off there. One thing I meant to mention before actually is that you might notice that there is a separate chart for left-handers. That is just basically because when we get a little bit further on with part 5, if you like to follow the chart and the written instructions together and you're left-handed, you need the separate chart, because otherwise the stitches will sort of go in the wrong order and it won't make sense. Anyway, I have now got started on row 3 with just my 2 standard double crochets there for my edge stitches. And this is another nice little easy repeat, so we're just going to basically start with 1 back loop double crochet, and then we've just got 3 front loop trebles. So 1, 2, 3. So a little run of 3 front loop trebles 2 rows down, so into that unused front loop, and then we just got 1 back loop double crochet. So that's it, we're just going to repeat that all the way across. So 3 front loop trebles, 1, 2, 3, and 1 back loop double crochet. Okay, so here we are with row 3 finished, fastened off at the end. We've now got row 4 is basically the opposite of row 3. So everywhere on row 3 we did a back loop double crochet, we are going to be doing a front loop treble into that front loop that we haven't worked 2 rows below, and everywhere you see a treble we don't have any choice, we've got to do a double crochet, so that'll be the back loop double crochets. Really nice and easy. So we just got 1 little front loop treble there into that unused loop before the main repeat, and then our repeat is, as I said, 1, 2, 3 back loop double crochets and 1 front loop treble. So that's that. Repeat that along till you get to the end, and then you've just got, as usual, your two standard double crochets for your edge stitch. Okay, so row 5 is our last row with our main colour for a little while. So I've just started there with the 2 edge stitches as usual, and these are all nice simple short repeats along here. So we start before the main repeat with 1 back loop double crochet, and then our main repeat starts with another back loop double crochet, then 1 front loop treble in this center front loop there, and then we end the repeat with 2 more back loop double crochets, which I can't seem to do today. So 1, 2 back loop double crochets, and then we start again with 1 back loop double crochet and a front loop treble. So it's as simple as that, ending the repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. So you just repeat that all the way along. Okay, so I have now just got started on row 6 with my 2 edge stitches, and then the first little back loop double crochet before the main repeat starts. And this is an even easier repeat because on this one we are going to just go across doing 1 front loop treble, 2 rows down, and then 1 back loop double crochet, and that is our repeat. Front loop treble, back loop double. Okay, so row 7 was actually a really nice straightforward one where we just used CC3 or XX3 if you're doing the city colours, and it was basically back loop double crochets all the way along, apart from the 2 edge stitches at each end of the row, of course. So I've gone ahead and I've done that ahead anyway. So row 8 is basically exactly the same as row 6. So I've already got started on that with my 2 edge stitches and 1 back loop double crochet, and then it is just alternating 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double. So let's carry on along and do that. Right, so I've now got to the end of row 11, and if you have a little look at the written instructions there, and also on the chart, you'll see there's a line going across the chart. Now, if you're doing the small blanket, because you don't want that so long, because it's not so wide, what you'll do, you basically ending more or less here. So to finish off the main body of your small blanket, you would now do 1 turning chain. We're actually going to turn at the end, and then it'd just be a case of working a row of double crochets all the way back and then fastening off, and then you'll be finished with the main body of your blanket if you're doing the small one, until we get to part 7 where we're going to do the border. But for all the other sizes, because they're that much longer, and we're going to carry on and finish part 5 and do part 6, we're going to do as usual. We're just gonna, there we go, cut that off and pull it through. Okay, so for the small size you just do 1 more row from the wrong side of double crochets. For all the others we'll just carry on. And I've just got started on row 16. So that is the 2 edge stitches and the first front loop treble, which comes before the main repeat. So I've just got started on that. So for row 16, this is where we're now going to start forming our plant pots for our topiary trees. On that, so I've got started with the first front loop treble, and we now start our main repeat with 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is like the ground that the pots are standing on. And now where the first pot is going to be, or the first large pot is going to be, is here. So we're now going to do 5 back loop double crochets, because they are going to be covered up with trebles on the next row to make those plant pots. 3, 4, 5, and then we just end the repeat with 6 front loop trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, 6. 2, 4, 6. So that's the end of our first repeat. So it started there, and we now start the next one with 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then we've got our 5 back loop double crochets and so on. So basically you're carrying along the line. You will have all through the middle of it 5 back loop double crochets and then 11 front loop trebles. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, spot on. So that's 6 at the end of the first repeat, 5 at the start of the next one. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 16. Row 17 is basically just the opposite of that. So as we've done before, on like opposite rows, it'll be everywhere we did a front loop treble before, we're going to do a back loop double crochet. Kind of have to do that anyway, so that bit's easy. But also we're going to be filling in where we've got these 5 little front loops unused. They're all going to have a front loop treble in them. And so that's how simple this row is. So I've already got started here with the 2 edge stitches and the first back loop double crochet, which is before the main repeat. So then we've just got 5 more back loop double crochets. 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to fill in here with front loop trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we finish the repeat with 6 more back loop double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you're ready to start the next repeat again with your 5 back loop double crochets. And then so I've just done row 17 where we've started on the bottom of our large flower pots. On row 18 we're actually going to make space for some little smaller ones. So there's sort of the idea is there's some different shaped trees in the background, so they're in a smaller pot. So we're going to start leaving a little space there for those. So I started row 18 with my 2 edge stitches and the little back loop double crochet that comes before the main repeat. So we're now going to do 1 more back loop double crochet, and then we've got 3 front loop trebles. So you can see I've now actually gone back to my main colour, because it's kind of like the sky behind the trees. That's the idea anyway. So we've got 1, 2, 3 front trebles, and then we're going to have 7 back loop double crochets. So as you can see, we're going to be making our pot a little bit wider, or big one. 2, 3, 4, 7 back loop double crochets and 3 front loop trebles. So that's the 3rd one, and now we end our repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. So say this is for our little pot in the distance. So we're now ready to start the next repeat again with another back loop double crochet, 3 front loop trebles, and 7 back loop double crochets. Ooh, fingers and thumbs. 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we've got your 3 front loop trebles, and end the repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 19, about to start 20. Well, I've actually just started it as usual with the 2 edge stitches and the back loop double crochet that comes before the main repeat. So we now start the main repeat with another back loop double crochet on top of that little plump pot, and then we've got 2 front loop trebles. So you can see we're going to be making our large pot a little bit wider still. So we've now got 9 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 8, 9. Then we've got 2 front loop trebles, and we end the repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. Okay, so that is row 21 done. So we finished with all our pots now, and just picked up my main colour and started with 2 edge stitches and the back loop double crochet before the main repeat starts. So row 22, we now start the repeat with 3 front loop trebles, so all 3 of these little front loops here. So it's a nice straightforward one really, because we're going to be doing loop trebles in all of the front loops that are spare in the MC from last time, and then we've just got our 9 back loop double crochets sitting on top of our 9 trebles. So straightforward as that. You're just going to be going along wherever you had a front loop treble on the previous row, you're going to do a back loop double crochet. So there's 9 in a row there, and then you've got your 3 front loop trebles, okay, and we end the repeat with a back loop double crochet on top of the stem of that sort of distant tree. So I've started as usual with the 2 edge stitches and that extra little back loop double crochet before the main repeat. So we're now going to start another back loop double crochet. Then we have 1 front loop treble, and now we've got some square brackets. First time we've seen them in part 5, and so you know that whatever it says between the brackets you have to do however many times it says after. So we've got to do 1 back loop double crochet, 4 front loop trebles, so that's what's in the square brackets, and we've got to do that twice. So 1, oh, try a treble, 1, 3. So that's our 4 front loop trebles once, then we've got 1 second back loop double crochet, and then 4 front loop trebles again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we've got 2 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 1 front loop treble, and then we end the repeat with 1 back loop double crochet. So you might well be able to see that it's not quite symmetrical now, which is why you need a separate chart if you're left-handed, because we've got here, we've got 1 back loop double crochet after the back loop double crochet that's above the sort of the trunk of this little tree, or on this side of it there's nothing there. So just carry on along like so. In fact, we'll do that once more together, I think. So start on the second repeat with another back loop double crochet, which is where I'm saying it's not symmetrical. Yeah, so now we've got 1 front loop treble, and now we've got 1 back loop double crochet, 4 front loop trebles, which we have to do twice. 2, 3, 4, 1 back loop double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we've got 2 back loop double crochets, 1 front loop treble, and we finish the repeat with that back loop double crochet. Okay, so this is what you should be looking at after row 25, and as usual I've just got started on row 26, so now ready to start the main repeat of that. So after this initial little back loop double crochet, which is before the main repeat, so we now start the repeat with 1 front loop treble, 2 back loop double crochets, and then we've got the little brackets again, which are exactly the same as they were here. So we have got 4 front loop trebles. Ooh, get through that last bit. What's wrong with me today? 3, 4, and 1 back loop double crochet, and do that twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a back loop double crochet. So now we've got 1 front loop treble and 2 back loop double crochets, and that finishes that first repeat. So now it will be a case of starting again with 1 front loop treble. Yeah, you know, I don't always say 2 rows down, but there always will be, because that's where the front loops are we're working into, that are basically usually the same colour as the one we're using now. So lost track of where I am now. So 1 front loop treble, sorry, we've now got 2 back loop double crochets, and then we've got 4 front loop trebles, 2, 3, 4, and a back loop double crochet, and we've got to do that twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a back loop double crochet, then 1 front loop treble, and finish the repeat with 2 back loop doubles. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 27. Nearly forgot where I was at. And we're now going to just sort of see why, say, it's not symmetrical, because they're kind of like trying to get the idea of sort of a spiral in these little trees in the background. So, well, the further we get on, the more obvious that will be, hopefully. So anyway, I've now started row 28 with a front loop treble just before the main repeat. So we now start it with 2 back loop double crochets, and we've got 3 front loop trebles, and we're now going to start on the sort of ball of our main trees. So we've now got 5 back loop double crochets here, so that's the bottom of the sort of topiary ball. 2, 3, 4, 5, then another 3 front loop trebles, 1, 2, 3, and then we end the repeat with 2 back loop double crochets and a front loop treble. Okay. So just carry on, repeat that across as you have been, and I think really I'm not going to come back and talk you through every other row now, but I will just show you some pictures. So just carry on, complete part 5 following the chart and or written instructions, whichever you prefer, and I will just come back every couple of rows and show you a picture of what it should look like. And then